Hey everyone, welcome to the Homies Podcast, the raw, the real with Black creatives, Black thoughts, and Black expression. I am your host, Shy, with the homies Malcolm.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. That was all out of wax. But hey, what's up, y'all?
Chris.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Chris. What's up?
And the one and only Moose.
What's up, guys? It is all love.
All right, y'all. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at the Homies Podcast with a Z to stay up to date with drops and the homies as well. Don't forget to rate us 5 stars and recommend us to your homies. So, what's been going up, folks? It's been a lot going on. So, what's up?
I don't know if I can go first. Well, I'm gonna do that anyway. Well, I finished my last code. Well, not my last coding. My level 2 of coding boot camp. So that's exciting. It's like 3 levels, and I start my third and final level on Thursday. So I'm really excited about that. I'm learning like fundamentals of JavaScript, HTML, CSS, all of that, and then I get to do like an apprenticeship or something. It's gonna be really cool.
That is absolutely lit. I have noticed that since I want to say even a year or so before the coronavirus like stopped the world, they have always been trying to push more representation, especially people of color and women in the coding industry. So it's so dope to just know somebody that's working on that. Like I can't even wrap my head around coding because isn't it a lot of like patterns of numbers and letters or just numbers like ones and zeros or something?
Well, that's binary code, but we don't really go through that anymore. But
Okay.
I mean, like it is a foundation of coding, but it's really easier than a lot of people think.
Well, I look forward to seeing your work during your apprenticeship. So shout outs to Chris on her coding. Malcolm, Moose, what's been going on with y'all?
Ooh, let me go. So, one, I'm gonna insert some hand claps or something for Chris. Good job with coding stuff too. Shit, what's been going on? I've been in Atlanta, and I think that speaks volumes in itself. It's been All-Star Weekend. Niggas getting robbed, niggas getting shot at. Niggas' cars getting broken into when they even put signs in the car saying, "I don't got shit in my car."
Oh my God.
Like, I ain't got nothing. Like, nah,
It's gotten so,
I'm gonna check and see anyway.
it's gotten so bad to the point where they had to make a whole Instagram page dedicated to this stuff. Like, hey, there's people getting robbed in this area, so stay away from this area. Hey, somebody just got beat up in this area, so stay away from this area. Got to the point where I followed the page and I saw somebody getting robbed, and they were like, "Here, just have my stuff," right? And they was walking away, and I don't know what was in the robber's mind, but they turned around and said, "You know what? I choose violence," and they started beating them up. I don't know what. It's not funny, but it's funny.
I mean, goodness, that's one hell of a welcome from the West Coast to the East. Good God.
Yeah, and then for those that don't know, I moved from California back to Georgia. I'm originally from Georgia, but yeah, it's a big welcome back because I stayed my black ass inside this weekend. I only went out today because it was during the daytime. Once the sun goes down, everything changes. But that's all I got from me. Shoot.
So you saying like the show Atlanta is very accurate?
You know what? It kind of is. Just everybody trying to get by.
No, that ain't no way to live. I couldn't live like that. Just getting by. We gotta be, gotta do more,
That's the thing though. Everybody's kind of like grinding here in their own ways, but some people just like. I think some people just got to the point and said, "Fuck it," like I'm gonna just start robbing niggas, and I get that. Some days I wake up like I could just rob folks, like I could.
But that's the worst. I feel like that's the worst thing you can ever do. Like I feel like you can, man. I don't know. You can cheat, you can lie, but man, when you steal, I feel like there ain't no character behind that because you taking something you ain't even work for.
Just know if you see me start stealing, I'm at my last straw. Like that's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need for you to start a GoFundMe.
Intervention at that point.
I don't know.
GoFundMe, OnlyFans, something like.
Do something. Honey.
That's it. I'm about to Photoshop these abs on me. Go to
If you want like
OnlyFans.
the last straw, you say we could do OnlyFans for you.
Yeah, baby, oh yeah, honey.
Shoot, gotta show off these skills. Anywho, Moose, go.
Right. What up, Moose? What's been popping?
I don't even want to talk about my week. For one, Mother Nature had a hold on
No.
me.
Release.
Mother
We
Nature had a
know it.
hold on me. Oh, she had a hold on me,
Blessed be the name.
girl. It was just a rough week. I was cussing people out. I was getting irritated, annoyed. It was one of those like lax weeks that I didn't really want to be bothered by anybody. So I was really like chilling, until everything was all fine and dandy until I started crying over pancakes for some reason. Then I was like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, girl.
Well, there's no more pancakes left.
Honey, when I say that bitch had let me watch my language. But Mother Nature, if you were an actual human being, bitch, I would fight you. Because she had her foot on my neck. Okay,
You was out here making choices.
Okay,
and she made choices for us all. Honey, I understand that. I absolutely believe that just like women get maternity leave, I feel like we should have leave for that time of the month. Like, it is literally,
and that's all I'm asking. And then I got niggas talking about what's wrong with you? Nigga, what's wrong with you?
Right. No. Don't come to me.
That if men were in the same predicament, they had the same
Like,
lady problems, they would not be able to survive. Like, they would not.
Oh, absolutely not. Look how childish they act when they get sick. I got a stuffy nose. Oh my God, I can't go to work. No, honey, they could never. Their pain threshold is so much lower than ours. That's simply off the strength of the amount of heat they can take in a shower. Do you know how hot women's showers are compared to men? Y'all be bathing in lake water, as far as I'm concerned.
You heard Malcolm clearing his throat. You have something to say?
First of all, I can't breathe. If my nose is stuffy, I can't breathe. Like, that's essential.
Okay.
Like, I can't breathe. Like, my oxygen.
Okay, that's why you say Dayquil and keep it pushing.
That Dayquil don't work.
Because
It
my
make me
foot's
sick.
on your
No, but it does though.
Hey, you're right, Moose. You applying pressure. You're absolutely right.
It's not
I'm telling the truth. Because he knows I'm telling the truth, and it's fine. But yeah, that's how my week went. I'm all better now. Thanks, guys, for all your concerning DMs and stuff when I had my little breakdown on Instagram, because I was like, y'all, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I just need everybody to leave me alone for the week.
Right.
Oh my gosh, Moose, I hope you're okay. But yeah, I'm fine. Thanks, guys. I'm good now.
So, Moose, do you feel like whenever of course, when us as women have moments like that, or even as human beings, we have challenges or just our energy is thrown off, do you feel like it's difficult for you to see the value that you possess in the different areas of responsibility that literally cannot function without you? Or how are you able to see through those challenges or those feelings of impatience and annoyance with people and maybe even yourself?
Fuck seeing the value in anything at that moment, because I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be bothered with people. As far as like me worried about like all the shit that I have to go on, I'm a really big advocate for self-care and caring for myself first. So like I have put on my Instagram, like I need to be left alone because in this space right now, I'm not okay. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. And I just need time to figure myself out. So I feel like me questioning like everything I have to do, everything just gets put on the back burner. Honestly, because I don't have time to figure stuff out, and I kind of don't want to have to figure it out. If that makes sense. I don't want to put myself in that type of position in that space, because I'm frustrated and I don't feel like, well, I know if I'm in that type of space, nothing good is going to come from it. I'm not going to be able to create. I'm not going to be able to talk to people. That's why I just like section off and like, okay, well, let me give myself space to think. Let me give myself space to just relax for a moment, because I was really about to blow up. I don't think you guys know how bad it was. I was about to blow up. But yeah, as far as like seeing the value and everything, it's solely about myself. I feel in that moment and me just taking care of me. So I try not to do anything.
Malcolm, Chris, how do y'all feel about that? Do you feel like you have to take a moment and step back, or do you feel like you kind of maybe go that that hero route of trying to put the team on your back, like I can persevere through this, and you kind of force yourself through the motions of whatever?
Before I used to shut down a lot. I used to shut down and then just like stop talking to people when, people are just trying to help me at the end of the day. And I had to find my value in myself, but also know that people find value in me, and stop trying to place myself in like the victim role or anything of that nature. I'm saying like, woe is me. Like, why is the world against me? When it's never that personal, it's all about control and what I can control, what I can't control at the end of the day. Let me get off my soapbox though.
No,
No,
that's
you're doing good.
absolutely real. Chris, how do you feel about it?
I mean, like I have a history of like trying to put people on my back and be the hero.
Right.
But I recently like had some events like happen to me, like some trauma to make me actually step back and like reevaluate like how I spend my time, and like what value do I truly possess, what power do I have like as a person. So like it made me reevaluate things I considered creative, and it just made me change my perspective on like a whole lot of different things.
Do you feel like you come back to a place of knowing yourself and feeling grounded as you're learning through those different experiences that you need to take a step back and stop putting people on your shoulders?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Through learning, you just grow, and it's just recognizing those things. It just makes it work.
And so as we put people on our backs to, kind of maybe be the crutch for them, do you feel like you have different habits, or do y'all feel overall that you have different habits that you use as a crutch from seeing the value you possess as a creative?
Oh, I can take this one. So like I try to take on too much, right? We're so focused on trying to help others that I don't tend to focus on helping myself. Then like from taking on too much, that you kind of get bogged down with so much stuff, and then you forget deadlines, you forget how to you forget like you're supposed to be at this meeting or that meeting, and then you're letting people down, and it's just like an endless cycle. And so you have to kind of end up being realistic with yourself, like, okay, are you helping others for the right reasons, not just to kind of like mask like what's going on with you, but are you actually genuinely helping somebody to push them forward in life?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I've had to like be real with myself. Like, am I doing this for the right reasons? Am I trying to distract myself, or I'm genuinely trying to help them?
Yes, that is a very introspective look on why people who are natural givers, like even myself, I do take the time to reevaluate, like, why am I doing this? Why am I sacrificing my time, my energy, anything that I'm expelling to make this happen, to make whatever happen for somebody else be executed? It can be overwhelming to have to always comb through your intentions when you feel that there may be mixed ones, because you're not seeing progress, or you're not seeing the results that you expected from yourself. So you go outside of yourself to be able to manipulate and control the things around you more, which I feel like that is what it can kind of evolve into, is not necessarily manipulating a person or a situation, but being like, I know I can make this happen when I know that right now I'm not making this happen for myself.
I want to see like what, Malcolm, I know for myself, like in real life, like aside from all the creative stuff, like boundaries, when do you you're laughing, okay, so,
Why
so
are
you
you
know where I'm
looking for
going
me?
so you know where I'm going with this. So he's laughing. So boundaries, like I honestly, I have a hard time telling people no. So how do you clarify or adjust your boundaries when you're trying to take on all these projects? Is it because you have a lack of boundaries like me? Or is it just because you feel like you can literally get it all done at one time, if that makes sense? Because I know for me, oh my bad, no, go ahead.
No, it's kind of like the latter. So like it's kind of like the latter. Like at first it's like I had weak ass boundaries. I just like I let whatever slide, And after a while, I had to ask better questions when taking on a project. Like, okay, when do you need this? How do you need it? Why do you need it at this time when it could be pushed at this time? Just kind of like consulting people, right? So I can have a better understanding what they want and also have a better understanding where I stand at. I never asked questions before. I would just be like, yeah, I can do that and just push forward with it.
Oh yeah,
So
that would
like,
be me, and try to figure shit out along
yeah,
the
just
way.
figure out as long as I go where
Right.
like a lot of times that's their project, that's their baby, right? I'm just the middleman. So really they need to be on their shit. And I'm not supposed to take on everything. Like, if you're participating in somebody's project, anything like that, you're trying to just make their dream come true, of course, but like you're not supposed to take on everything. They're the ones that's supposed to have the vision.
Right.
They're supposed to have the vision, the deadlines, all that. You're supposed to be the one just facilitating that vision. And that's and that also goes into like knowing your role and knowing your lane. So like the biggest thing with knowing my boundary was, where do I stand at? Where's my lane? This is out of my lane, guess what? I'm not gonna ask about it.
Yeah, I get that.
So that period.
Exactly. I'm weak. I feel like in real life, like I am like that. I try to take on a lot of stuff, so I know exactly how you feel. I try to take on a lot of stuff to try to please other people, and I think that shows a lot of my type of imposter syndrome. Because I mean, of course, you're asking people about what type of projects you can do. Yeah, I can do that, and then you get to it like, damn, can I really do this? I don't think I can really do this. Now I'm a fraud. It's just like, so setting up those boundaries or having types of boundaries when you're taking on new projects, I feel like I should probably practice more with that. But I was just interested in seeing like how you how you implemented your boundaries.
So that could be fixed with like really like clear communication. Like if you feel like you can do something but you don't have the knowledge, you can say that exactly. Like,
yeah,
I can
and
learn
most of the time
this.
I don't take on shit because I don't know. Like
And that's the thing is,
I don't know.
and that's the thing. Like Google, like I say it all the time to y'all. Google is your best friend. YouTube is a good resource. I just look. I really just look up stuff like as I go, and like I'll do it and I send it to them, and it's the best thing ever. Mind you, it's my first time doing it, and it's the best thing ever to them. So it's the fact of giving yourself grace and like at least trying.
Right.
Doing doing your little bit of legwork and see if you can do it. Then you just add that to your resume.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So outside of possibly struggling with boundaries, do you ever feel like it's a financial piece where you feel like you need to maintain a certain level of income to sustain your creative projects? Like, do you need to ball? Like, or is it really balling on a budget? Because I can honestly say that as much as I try to convince myself that I needed certain materials to be actively creative, when I got those tools, I still didn't do what I need to do. So I feel like almost it's like the people that have to be innovative and creative with how they produce their creativity or like their content, their work. I feel like those are the ones who are more consistent and more hungry and just like scrappy and just hustling for what they want, and would be, the type of creative that would have longevity in the game. So, I mean, what do y'all think?
I'll tell you this one, because I'm a big advocate of like DIY stuff, right? Especially if you're just first starting out. Like, if you can shake it. Like, nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes. Most of my stuff when I first started out came from Dollar General or within my house.
What?
So for real, like, and then like I would learn it because I'm a lot of self-taught stuff, right? So I would just go to YouTube, be like DIY, whatever. And then I'll find it and I'm like, okay, cool, that's real. And I'll work around that, right? And see if it actually works. Like, and a lot of times I'll test something out before I bring it to somebody. That's the biggest thing. So like I'm big on DIY stuff until you it's kind of like that concept, fake it till you make it. Like, and then when people ask me like, what'd you do? I just used a fucking brown bed sheet. They're like, what the hell? I'm like, yeah, that's it. That was it. It's not like, at the end of the day, it's all about the person doing the project, not like the materials you're using.
Right. That's absolutely true. Would you say that with the process of DIY, because I'll tell you, I don't really feel the most confident trying to, create something. I'm all about researching the resource, finding the resource, buying the resource, using the resource. Like
Yeah.
I'm like I'm more like technical blueprint, find a guide, get it, make it
Mhm.
happen. So what would you say is a big uh I guess learning curve tip to share with people who are going through that, like how to edit a music video or how to, you know, just do anything, DIY everything? What would you
Literally,
suggest?
literally, you have to practice it, right? It's all about practicing. Like nobody just goes out there the first time and just do it. Like you're gonna learn the concept and then you're gonna try it out. And I would suggest like try it out with your friends, try it out with your family. Hell, if you got a dog or a cat, try it out. Just try out like those certain editing techniques, those movements stuff to yourself before you bring it to like a client, right? And even if you bring it to the client, it's not gonna be like perfect. It's still gonna be like a work in progress, but at least you're better than where you started at.
True.
So you definitely like everything is practicing your craft. Like it's not like just apply it to sports or anything like that. You have to practice.
Definitely.
So what about you, Chris? I feel like you're pretty innovative when it comes to how you put together your content. Would you say that you're able to kind of take those DIY skills and apply them to your content, or do you have the hack for the budget? Or are you
Man,
is you balling?
if I had the time and the patience to like learn everything, I would do everything. But because I'm lazy, I make a way to employ the right people because that's also
Right.
supporting your fellow creatives and creating your network who will eventually support you. So,
Right.
yeah, I don't mind paying for quality services if it ends up like gaining me major opportunities in the long term, like in the long run, because those are the people like you really need.
Ooh, so let me be devil's advocate here. What do you guys think about the two different approaches, like doing it yourself, because that seems to be more self-promoted, especially in the media, where you can shoot, record, like edit, like produce, do it all, and then having that team that makes it all go smooth, because Oprah has sustained through the change. And the thing is, she's never had to change up what she's done. Like she simply has something, she has literally something for everyone who works on her team. So maybe she's a bad example, but I just mean, I guess, as far as a rising creative, do you feel like it's more beneficial to bring people on to help you, or to make sure that you are a jack of all trades so you know at least what you want your stuff to look like? Or, do you feel like you would want to be more hands-on with your work, or do you feel like you just would be willing to invest that time and money?
It's always better to learn on your
Mm.
own, um, especially if you're trying to break into an industry. Like nobody wants to rely on somebody to do stuff. Like my creative friends, if I ask them for something, they're like, well, I can teach you how. And I'm like, yeah, teach me how so I won't have to bother you for stuff.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a bother. I'm not saying that, I'm sorry y'all. I'm not a bother to my friends or whatever. But it's always helpful to learn that skill so you can have that skill to utilize, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always good to have a team. Like all of my visuals that I ever created, I've done with my videographer, but most of the stuff I'm doing recently has been me. Like I've edited, shot, done all that stuff, recorded, produced, all that. So it's definitely good to be a jack of all trades, as Chris would say. Like it's definitely good to have your hands in multiple pots. Creative directing, marketing, all that good stuff.
So I wanted to go back to when Shai was talking about how the media likes to pin us up together, like pin us against each other to just be a Jane and Jack of all trades. But like, that's why I really feel like we need to sew back into our community. Like we need each other instead of viewing each other as a competition, because I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be working. Honestly, we're all just like out here struggling, and we just need those people to like hold us down and like rely on each other.
But no, I wanted to ask your opinion, Chris, about like how you felt about the perspective that Moose brought to the table about the benefit of being self-taught. So you're not depending on other people to get your projects done, or possibly even being a bother, or just an inconvenience by maybe having to go back and forth. Like, how'd you do this again? What'd you do? Da da da.
No,
More
no,
of like clean cut, like, I'm paying you to do this service. You know how to do this. I'm not going to ask about the process. When it's done, I'll look over it, confirm it, and you'll get paid or not.
yeah. I mean, I do agree with Moose because like it's hard. Like sometimes people just you can't trust everybody like you wish you could, but you have to make sure like you have your own back and you need to like do your own things. Like, and then other people, like as you support your artists, they'll get popular, and then they might not have the same access to you as they first did. So it is kind of good to have like some DIY skills to fall back on. Like I used to have a makeup artist. Like we used to work all the time together, and then like sometimes like she was booked up. I had to like kind of know how to put together a basic face, and you can't afford that all the time because things happen, like life, bills, an extra bill you didn't expect.
Okay.
Absolutely
Okay.
real, honey. That's why I learned how to do this basic face, honey. I ain't never had nobody put my makeup that I don't had to pay for. I tell you right now. Just
Yeah,
not
if you
something
want
I'm
something
doing.
done right, just do it yourself.
And then
Well, not just. I mean, but if you have people that can do it, and that
Yeah.
you want to do
yeah.
it,
But
have
the
them
funny
do
thing
it.
is-
Employ them to do it. But I mean, it's always better to have that that little Pokemon card in the back of your back pocket just to pull out like, bitch, I can do this shit myself. Like,
I just kind of want to share like a funny anecdote about like how like I used to pay to get my hair done, but then I'd always have to tweak it myself to make sure I really like it. So now like I just do my own hair basically. Like want to make sure like I have the time to do it. That's why I'm locking up. It's gonna be like easy for me to handle, and yeah.
it's exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
Malcolm, how do you feel? I mean, I know you promoted the DIY. You brought that to the table as an actual DIYer or DIYist. I don't know if it's like a hobby or something you do. But do you feel like there's also value in hiring because you are someone to be hired to do what you do best? Like I would hire you to do my stuff.
Shit,
I mean,
I've been waiting.
I've been plotting on that ass.
I mean,
I really
that's
have.
fine. Plot on me. I think it's good to know the knowledge coming into it, so you won't be completely like ignorant to the fact of people you're bringing on your team. It's kind of like a little bit of both. You should definitely have a team later on, but like you know yourself better than anyone else, so you need to
Right.
definitely like learn the stuff a little bit, at least learn the foundation of it before you go on to move into hiring other people, because they might try to take advantage of you saying, well, it's worth this much when you've already done your research and saying, no, it's actually worth this much. So I feel like, especially like if they try to bring you stuff and you be like, you know what, I could have did this already with a sheet of paper and 2 light bulbs and then called it and called it a day. However, like I'm like myself, I'm eventually trying to build up a team. I'm kind of like doing it low key right now because like I feel like I've gotten to that point where if I feel like I'm spreading myself too thin, I need to have people to kind of give this out to, and also people you trust, that aligns with your vision.
Right.
My only problem is with hiring other people sometimes, because I've had times where I've encountered where I would do something for somebody and it wasn't their vision. And I would ask, like in my mind, I'll ask, well, if it wasn't your vision, why didn't you do it yourself?
Wow.
So if it's like, if I'm not meeting up to your standards, why didn't you just do it yourself? If it's like, I clearly can't read your mind. I can only offer my style and my like brand. That's it. So I've had people yell at me about that before, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm not trying to really lose a customer, so I'm gonna just listen to you because I'm building my customer service skills. Um, it's hard.
I'm weak.
Customer
It's-
service is hard.
It is. Even
But
like with this,
honestly, for
Like this
Malcolm.
past week, I was like, I just need you guys to know that you are capable and you're resourceful and you can help yourself because customer service is hard. People are dumb. You have to really spell shit out. And, I'm not built for that. I
so you have
did
to
it.
hold people's hands. You have to really hold people's hands throughout the whole process, right? Where people that like work with me, I would tell them like the same thing I tell y'all. It's not foreign. I'll be like, Google is your best friend. YouTube is your best friend. I was like, I would do stuff for people, but I'll be like, over time, I'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna keep holding your hand if this is gonna be a continued relationship, like a continuous relationship. You gotta learn how to do stuff as well too. Like, because you keep throwing things on me, it's not gonna be to your standards. So you need to learn what your standards even are,
Right.
so you can help me
And
get
that's
to the
why I
point
ain't
you want to
step
be.
to you, dog. That's why I ain't step to you, dog.
I've been in customer service basically since I was 14 because I worked front desk from my high school during the summer. Them people are dumb, baby. You need to hire people for that.
How you gonna come to me? I'm still stuck on this. How you gonna come to me and get mad at me because this isn't what you wanted?
Yeah, you
You
clearly
knew
have
what you
examples of
wanted.
my work. Like you knew what I was doing.
Yeah, you've seen I'm sure, Malcolm, I'm sure you showed them your portfolio or they've seen it. So they
Yes,
knew
and
what
it's
you were
like
capable of.
it's like my shit is chaotic as fuck. So it's just like, what did you
Oh,
expect?
not
Like, I don't know what you. If you want some black and white mural, I can't provide that. My shit's colorful, like.
Oh my god.
But like at the same time, like to flip the coin, you kind of knew some like the customer knows what they're kind of getting into sometimes too, right? Like Shy's case, we're not gonna name any names because the people I know, but Shy's case, she reached out for somebody or a picture, right? And it wasn't particularly her vision, and I get that.
Boy,
I'm
I
about
get
to
that.
mute my mic.
that vision was blurry.
Right. The thing is that was the artist's vision, and it's like that wasn't my vision. And so all you could do is be like chalk it up to the game and be like, you know what? Thank you for your services. I think I'm whatever professional talk say, I'm gonna move on elsewhere, and then keep it pushing, because sometimes it might be on the customer not doing their research, right? So also it's on like the artist as well, knowing like, I don't do this, but it's still gonna do it anyways. Most of the time the artists know they gave you trash. I'm gonna be real with you.
And see, that's the thing. That's why I was like, I don't even want to talk about it, fam.
Oh no, I think there's like every now and then there's like a artist so passionate they can't really see.
No. How?
Oh no.
When you
I'm
return
not
that
lying.
picture, Shy, when you return that
Honey.
I wish
Wait, yeah,
you
no,
could see the
that
picture
was
because they did my girl Shy so dirty. When you return the picture, like, did he even be like, well, this is the best? Like, did he even put up a fight? Like, you should like.
I'm gonna tell you
this,
something.
blase.
I'm gonna tell you something, and we go just dead it right here. There was no fight, and that's it.
Okay. Okay, good. Because there
was no semblance of fight.
Could not have been, and would not have been.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't even a discussion. Like,
oh gosh.
No,
Man, he
That
put his
did
hands
my girl
up.
Shot so dirty.
I just was like, my God.
Whole head lopsided.
and if you're listening to this and you hear what we're talking about and you know what we're talking about, just know I love you.
Right. All good.
But it's not for you, baby.
Oh my god.
We'll talk
It's
later
not for
about
you,
it.
baby.
That's fine. If you want to be mad, you can be mad. That's fine. Everybody's mad at me. Go ahead. Next topic.
So, do y'all feel like it can be difficult to, even with a team and even knowing how to be, the DIY or the jack of all trades? How are you consistent, whether you're using other people as you're putting, as you're maybe hiring people to do work, Chris, do you use that as an accountability factor, or like Malcolm, maybe tempering the amount of people that you take on and, using a calendar? Like, what are y'all doing to stay consistent? Because that is like, me and consistency is like oil and water. Like, we'll mix for a little second and then we just separate over time.
I just like I'm usually able to pick up on a person's like vibe. I mean, I pay attention to how they run their practice. Like I get up and close with them to see if like I really want to do business with them in the future. Like I just kind of have discernment like that, I guess. But so I think I have like a healthy balance. Like I got like people like I've been able to discern people who I can like trust to do things for me, and I can pay them to do it well, and that just be like the default. But I mean, I can cook for myself because food is expensive. Like so through that, like I've got had to get a little creative with like my things and in my palette and like just open my mind to stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm just able to find that balance, I guess.
Moose, Malcolm, how do y'all balance that process of consistency or like kind of weathering the moments of inconsistency?
Oh,
Not
I gotta remember I'm human.
go ahead.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta remember I'm human, but also I gotta remember like it's not an excuse at the same time. I gotta keep myself accountable, keep others accountable. Because if I'm not accountable for myself, I can't really blame what others do, right? Especially if I'm leading this charge. Like if I have people under me, I gotta make sure like I'm on my shit and give people no excuse to say like, well, you know you did this and that and this that and fourth. Well, why don't we do this? And I don't have time for all that discussion and talking all that. Oh, there's money to be made.
Give
But
me the
really, yeah,
line.
there's really money to be made every day. But really, I just like try to keep calendars up. I'm big on sharing notes, even like this Discord stuff. Like I have Discord groups of people, just anything to keep like constant communication. People kind of see like where they're at, where they stand, how are they. The biggest thing is how are you mentally? Are you mentally capable of taking this on? Like,
Mhm.
like I'm a big advocate of mental health. Like if you can't take this on, that's perfectly fine. If you could come in
Mhm.
later, that's perfectly fine too. Just let me know where you stand at. Like just I'm an easy person to talk to. Just let me know how you feeling. No, that's it. So we can just keep pressing forward.
That's real. Do you think that you sometimes have to um, temper the way you communicate when it comes down to having to tell a creative that it's like, that's not really what I'm looking for? Like, kind of going back. Like, how do y'all handle that? Because I know how I handle it, but how do y'all handle it?
I say not quite.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, basically, I just like not quite there, or maybe we should go a different direction. That's the easiest. That's the nicest way I could go about saying like this shit ain't it. Like it ain't it at all. Like we should go a different direction or anything like that. And that's okay because there's a lot of stuff I've made before that did not make the final cut. That's okay as long as you're able to tell me like what's exactly wrong with it. If you just tell me this ain't good, okay, what about it's not good so I can fix it.
Right.
As a creative, you have to diagnose a problem. So like, and this is not even just like being a graphic designer or a photographer or anything like that. Even like a model, it's like we're not liking the pictures. What do you want me to do differently? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
like
Okay.
what do you want me to portray here? Like, what is it? Like, help me out. So, and that also kind of goes into like the DIY stuff. Like, if you're a model per se, sometimes you'll like go into a set and you'll think like you have creative direction. Where sometimes you might meet an awkward photographer that don't know what to do with themselves or you. So you have to really
Oh
direct
my
yourself.
gosh.
Like, you have to
Woo!
direct.
That is the worst.
Oh my God.
That is the worst.
So you have to do your own homework by yourself and practice yourself on like, okay, I know 5 go-to moves to keep this going. After that, I'm
Man,
freestyling.
man. Listen, that was the most difficult part for me being being photographed. But I did not take out the time to do the research. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I just, was hoping that it would be one of them things like how I be doing, where I just do continuous shots, and then you just capture magic somewhere in between.
You
Now
definitely
I
have to do
do
your
be
like
having an eye.
practice.
I do be having an eye though for what to capture on continuous, but it's like sometimes certain movements just are so natural. You just catch them in the moment, and that's what is produced from that. But yeah, I definitely want to practice and kind of find my, like my go-to pose. Like, there's this girl I follow, Alyssa Forever on Instagram. Like she has like this. It's not a jail pose, but like she'll squat down and extend one of her legs, and like she like 5'10". So she just be looking long and sleek as hell when she, pose like that. So yeah, I just want to find my signature thing. But Moose, how do you, communicate with your creative team, or how do you maintain consistency as a DIYer?
I'm gonna be like extremely frank. I'm not consistent worth a damn. Okay,
Boy.
I'm
Mhm.
I'm not consistent worth a damn. For one, honestly, I don't work on enough creative projects for myself, and for one, like what I consider my creativity, my creative process and projects, they don't require a lot of consistency. I literally just create for myself whenever I feel like doing it. That's when I'm gonna do it. But in the past, when I've worked with other creatives, like my videographer, consistency was always key. Like I was extremely good on communicating. Like I for one, I think it's important to work with people that you have a great chemistry with. So therefore, like there won't be so many awkward moments. Because I've worked with photographers, videographers that I worked with, and it was just so awkward, and it made me uncomfortable. So then like the final product was kind of like cringy. So I feel like working with somebody that you have a nice chemistry with, because then when you communicate with each other about the project, it's just like seamless. It's just like, oh yeah, you know where I'm going, you know what I'm thinking, that's exactly what I want, and all that other good type of stuff. But yeah, talking about some consistency, yeah, I just ain't got it, boss. But if I'm working with if I'm working with a team, I'm always on it. Like that's just how I am. But by myself, I'm not a movement by myself. I'm not a movement by myself.
Honey.
Oh my God.
Consistency is just not
Yes,
my
you
forte.
are.
Honey child, let me tell you something. That's just not. It's not built in me. I'm extremely lazy. Fun fact. I'm extremely
I am not
lazy.
every woman.
Yeah, okay. I am extremely lazy. So when I want to work on something, I will. When I want to work with people, I will. If people ask me to work on something, I will. It depends, on what
The
it
hesitance.
is. You said what?
The hesitance. I heard the pause. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It depends, because I just recently worked with this on this project with J5 Jalen, Black Smiles. Shout out to Jalen. On his project, his video for his project, The Weekend. I was like, yeah, because I didn't have shit to do. It's just like it was an interesting project, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. But yeah, it's really seldom that I just get those projects that I just want to work on. I just do shit at my own will, at my own pace. It's my process.
Well, that's absolutely real. I think that it's important to extend ourselves grace as we are, navigating the ups and downs of consistency. But it's definitely something that we have to continue working towards if we want to get to that level of, success, or, growth, or whatever it is that you're looking for in your creative craft. Like for me, definitely purpose. And so I feel like with that and the practice and the consistency comes a more fulfilling overall benefit to being consistent. So
Mhm.
I think that,
Yeah, and I
you should still work towards it.
yeah, and I think a lot of even though I don't work on my own projects a lot, I like helping people with their projects.
Yes.
Like I'm really passionate
Mhm.
about like people telling me their ideas and me helping them like trying to formulate and bring it to fruition. Like I'm really passionate about that type of stuff. Like Sha, we had a conversation one time about like your social media and stuff like that. I have a
Yeah.
conversation with my best friend, Tiana, at Tiana Trent. Hey girl. I had a conversation with Tiana about her show that she's doing now. Like even Josh, people in Black Smiles, me and Drew chop it up sometimes. Like that's just something that I find myself working on. Like not more so myself, but creative projects for other people. So but yeah, consistency in that aspect, yeah, it's definitely needed. Definitely, if you want to get there, consistency is definitely something that you need to get there.
So, yeah, with consistency in my craft, like, man, it took me forever to get something of my own started. Like, I spent all my time helping people trying to figure out who I was as an artist, because I knew I was one, but I just didn't know what. And I don't know. Until then, I just, child, it was rough. But I was able to find the consistency finally, like at a very pivotal point in my life, like making that website that got me through like a very difficult time. And the only thing that was holding me up was the consistency of working on it, and I couldn't depend on nobody else to do it, so I had to do it myself.
And that's when the jack of all trades comes in. That's when that jack of all trades comes in.
Man, I'll tell you what. Shoot,
You're
I
definitely
consider
building
myself a
it.
jack of all trades.
And you are. You very much so are.
Yeah,
Hate it here.
Oh yeah, shout outs to
Very-
Malcolm for
yeah,
the
you're
editing,
good.
for creating our promo, just for everything. Shout outs to him. Like he really do put the team on his back for the homies.
Or anybody he
tired.
works with. Book
I'm
this
tired.
nigga.
Oh, God.
Book this
I hate
nigga.
slavery.
Right. Make sure
I
you
hate-
book in.
We about to get you some more clients. Book this nigga.
Book in.
Book people to actually pay. Anywho, moving on.
Oh, honey, hold up,
Honey day over here.
hold up, because
Planted.
we gonna win where the money reside, where the money
Where the-
reside, where the money reside. Okay.
Yes, DR Creative. Shout out to him. Family just
He got
And
that
that's
finally.
on
He got that trademark finally.
And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. He ain't trademarking Mary Little Lamb, not the song, not the phrase, but his and that song. That's the phrase.
Oh,
He ain't saying, Mary had, he ain't doing that. That's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. That, that's where he at with that. So
breakdown.
we just want to thank y'all for tuning in and kicking it with the homies. You can always catch new episodes dropping every other Thursday on all streaming platforms. Be sure to follow us on IG at the Homies Podcast with a Z for updates. I'm your host, Shy, and we are the Homies. And we out.